Welcome back from the coffee break. This next panel is organized in partnership with Schmidt Futures, a philanthropic initiative founded by Dr. Eric and Wendy Schmidt, and Trifork, a next-gen IT and business service provider creating digital solutions that will better our world. Digital solutions that will better our world, that's what the Alliance of Democracies is promoting with the Democracy and Technology Entrepreneur Program. It brings out what the free world does best. We're talking about innovation, entrepreneurship, and bottom-up ideas. The Democracy Tech entrepreneurs in the program this year come from Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova, and Armenia, all countries on the digital frontline against Russia's digital aggression, disinformation, election interference, and abusive surveillance. The entrepreneurs' tech innovation projects are part of strengthening the digital resilience in their country's democracy. Their presentations today are a culmination of a long period of master classes and coaching by exceptional tech and business leaders and democracy advocates. Their presentations are divided into two sub-themes. The first theme is helping Ukraine win digitally and rebuild back. And the second theme is securing democracy in Georgia, Moldova, and Armenia. This is rapid fire pitching. Every fellow will have exactly 3 minutes to present. Then follows a short question session from our excellent panel of democracy and tech expert judges. So now let me introduce those expert judges who will comment, provide feedback, and select today's winners. Please welcome to the stage Helen Zhang, Director of International Strategy Forum, a Schmidt Future Initiative, Jan Larsen, founder and CEO of Trifork, and Stina Mulgo Sonson. I knew I'd murdered that name, so sorry. My Swedish heritage is not serving me well here, I'm sorry. Board member, investor, and co-founder of Radiobotics. This year, we're also introducing 3 award prizes, get this, $10,000 each. The Ukraine Award will recognize a fellow that's working on democracy tech tools to help Ukraine win the digital war and rebuild back. The Copenhagen Democracy Tech Award recognizes the most outstanding democracy tech solution in the cohort, and both these prizes will be selected by our panel of judges. But we also want you to have a say. The People's Award is the award that all of you are going to choose. You're going to vote using that same procedure that you just tried during the TikTok panel. And now it is democracy and tech time, so please join me in welcoming Viktor Nestulia from Rise Ukraine. Viktor.
What if one of the most organized nations in the world plans to build an airport? Do we know if it's going to be finished on time? Construction, it doesn't always go as planned. My name is Viktor Nestulia, and my country, Ukraine, fights a barbaric full-scale invasion of Russians who are trying to destroy our dream of a democratic nation. Russian genocidal war destroys human lives and levels cities like Mariupol to the ground. We will need to rebuild thousands of airports, thousands of houses, schools, theaters, museums, shopping centers, most importantly, human lives. A little bit harder to plan and implement than a single airport, right? But with your support, Ukraine plans to build back better, to deliver projects where they are actually needed, so they are sustainable on time and budget. Let me show you how. Our platform, DREAM, covers more than 5,000 reconstruction projects from 200 municipalities, and more are added every day. Imagine you are ahead of the occupied village, and you need to rebuild a hospital. You start with its definition, appraisal, structuring, and it's ready to go. Let's say Denmark wants to support achievement of Sustainable Development Goal number 3, good health and well-being. DREAM shows all hospitals in Ukraine that are ready for implementation. So Denmark contacts directly a municipality and supports the implementation. With money and expert support, Krasnokutsk conducts an open procurement, signs electronic contract, and starts implementation. It regularly reports on the progress, works completed, materials used, and regular photo updates ensure transparency and compliance with scope and plan. Finally, construction is finished. Krasnokutsk citizens have access to health, and Denmark taxpayers are sure that their money was spent appropriately helping sustainable development of Ukraine. DREAM develops a single pipeline of reconstruction projects from communities to funders and helps with implementation throughout the whole reconstruction cycle. With this platform, we'll be able to deliver the reconstruction which is truly accountable, efficient, sustainable, and inclusive. And we'll be able to track every euro, pound, hryvnia, dollar invested into our country. Government of Ukraine committed to scale DREAM for all public infrastructure projects by the end of this year. And it is supported by G7, European Union, IMF, and the World Bank. The whole world will be able to see DREAM next month during the Ukraine Recovery Conference in London. Our nation really appreciates all your help in winning the war. But next, we'll have to win the peace. So join our dream of a free, democratic, human-centered Ukraine that builds back better. Let's build Ukraine together. Slava Ukraini!
Okay, Victor, Helen has the first crack at the question.
Victor, thank you so much for that presentation. That was really fantastic. You had mentioned that there's about 5,000 projects in this, with 200 more potentially on the way. Is this a user-generated content platform? I mean, who inputs the data into this and who is responsible for managing it? Is it Ukrainian government or is it also civic society?
So right now, it's Ukrainian governmental institutions, mostly communities, public entities, and there are 200 entities who are already using the platform. The plan is to scale it for all municipalities across Ukraine, so it will be officially enforced by law.
Fantastic.
Jan?
Yeah, thank you so much for a very nice presentation, very polished, and I can see you have prepared a lot. And also the product is quite complete and it's rolled out. So my question is, what are the new features you want to add on? Is this something you've been thinking about?
Of course. So for this year, we focused on reconstruction management cycle, but for next year, we are also including e-democracy component to the platform, so to make sure that citizens actually have an opportunity to participate in reconstruction planning, contribute to projects prioritization, and we are also focusing on risk management system. While we will be collecting lots of data, we want to make sure that they are properly analyzed and presented to all possible stakeholders, including civil society, watchdogs, journalists, but also governmental authorities like Supreme Audit Institution, so they can do their work better.
Thank you.
Victor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Our next democracy tech entrepreneur is Natalia Chornogub. Her project is YC World. She's from Ukraine.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Natalia. I present Ukrainian IT company uControl, and today I will tell you how open data can be a weapon against war. Since the full-scale invasion, Russia struggled 5,000 missiles over the territory of Ukraine. Can you imagine, every hour, non-stop, Russia continued to bombing us? They spent more than $1 billion a day for killing and destroying us. How to stop financing war? Some socially responsible brands now are closed their businesses in Russia, but some not, and they pretend and cover their businesses. So I believe that economic pressure is the same weapon as military equipment. And I'm not talking about only sanctions. I'm talking about responsibility of each of us. Each of us can refuse to cooperate with Russia. You can stop financing terrorism. You may know information exactly with whom are you working with. Maybe tomorrow you will sign a contract with the company who supports war in Ukraine. But how can you know this information exactly? That's why I'm here. Well, my Ukrainian team created many useful services for recovery of Ukraine, for surviving of Ukraine, and one of them calls U-Control World, which will be helpful to know with whom are you working with, whether it's Russians, Belarusian, whether it's militaries, whether it's risky connections. I can tell you exactly with whom are you working with. This platform, U-Control, operates more than 1 year, and we are trusted and used by governments, public authorities, anti-money laundering specialists, investigators, non-government organizations, and of course, journalists. Every month, 1 million inspections are made using our platform. How it looks? So it's open data platform, international, that allows you to find connections with Belarusian, with Russians, to find their assets, to freeze their assets. And the system will automatically show you whether it's a risky connection or no within 2 seconds. And of course, this information based on official data sources. So you will find information from 26 countries. Also, you will find information from 45 sanction lists, which are daily updated. So Russia spends a lot of money for destroying democracy, for destroying our country, for killing Ukrainians. But we feel our responsibility to do all our best to protect our country, to protect yourself, not to cooperate with Russia, to freeze their assets. So please feel free to use our system and to help Ukraine to recover. Thank you very much.
Natalia.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
I know you wanted to escape these questions, but Stina
Sorry.
has one for you.
Sorry for that.
Very good.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. It's a great purpose your company has. So tell me, one of the things we're really trying to combat here is to know the truth. So with your technology, you're obviously trying to expose what is happening. How can I trust your technology? Not only that it's being used by obviously you have great logos, but technically, how can I trust your technology?
Our company works in the sphere of open data for the last 8 years. We use only official data sources, only official registers, which we take information from governance. So while you are using our system, it's the same if you will go to the website of the governance from 26 countries all over the world. So it's the same. So you can trust this information, even you can use this information to the court.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jan?
Thank you so much for your presentation. I think it's a very important mission you have. So in your opinion, since the war started until now, what do you think the percentage of the Western world companies who still do business in Russia? Just your personal view from the data.
Well, you know, we made investigations every month, and we collect information how many companies are still in, for example, in Great Britain or in Denmark, how many of them continue to operate. We have such figures. All the time we send this information to the governments, to non-government organizations, and to businesses. And we feel, and we see it on our figures, that the amount of such companies are really decreased. So I really believe that maybe it's even our input, because we can show this information.
Thank you so much, Natalia.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And our third contestant is Georgi Gvinikadze, war fake news detector from Ukraine.
From Georgia.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, thank you. In our digital world, we are flooded with information. This makes it hard for us to distinguish truth from the lies. The challenge grows even bigger during the wars and conflicts, where the false propaganda shapes our waves and politics. The recent Russian-Ukraine conflict shows how the fake news can be turned to a powerful weapon, as it did during the Russian-Georgian war in 2008. That's why we need an efficient and intelligent way to protect ourselves from misinformation. Hi, I'm Georg, co-founder of the startup Through AI. At Through AI, we are on a mission to create an AI-powered war fake news detector designed to fight misinformation like never before. Determining the authenticity of the news can be a difficult and a complex process. This requires carefully navigating a wide range of the sources and perspectives. The slide represents expected steps that the general public covers to understand whether the news is fake or not. However, the process of verification the information accuracy is especially significant for media representatives, human rights activists, political analysts, governmental or international organizations. But we have a solution. We introduce AI-powered Telegram chatbot that detects fake news just in 1 second. With one simple step, users can forward any news they come across on the internet to the bot, which uses AI to determine its authenticity. Our product is really user-friendly and intuitive, as forwarding any news and information is a daily action for many users on social media chat apps. It accepts any format of the data, including text, voice, images, and video. And most importantly, we solve the problem of the source subjectivity by additionally creating the database of the users' feedbacks and ratings to validate the news accuracy. First of all, our go-to-market strategy is to promote ourselves at the relevant conference and events, and I think that the Copenhagen Democracy Summit is a great example for this. Additionally, we want to further our online presence through our website and the various social media channels, and that's why we already deployed our AI on Telegram. Also, we plan to collaborate with news organizations, research institutions, and key stakeholders. For our customers, we are providing subscription-based API access to integrate in their environment, and also we are offering the licensing agreement. And cost, all of the service will be $100 monthly or $1,000 yearly per users. This is us. We are 2 co-founders with academic research and applied experience in data science, and we have a deep understanding how to solve business problems with AI. To begin with, we collect the war-related news from Telegram and trained our first AI model in September 2022. After the 2 months, we launched a public beta version and the One DataFest hackathon in Tbilisi. Right now, we are trying just to update our model and collect the various data from various sources. So don't hesitate to forward war news and help our model become stronger. Thank you.
Helen, you get the first question.
Thank you, Jean. Giorgio, this is a fantastic app. My question is to clarify first, is this a B2B product or is it a B2C product?
So right now it's a B2C, and because this was a hackathon project, so right now we are developing this one, and it will be B2B and B2G as well.
Okay, if I can ask, do you have an understanding of what your market or your consumer market looks like in terms of wanting to understand disinformation and have a sort of bulwark against disinformation?
Yeah, thank you for this question. So when we created the research, so the market size was approximately 1.5 billion sized, and also this number is increasing because we are living into the information era, and the number of the information increased exponentially, and so the demand of this kind of products will increase by the 20% for the next 5 years.
Stina.
Very good. Thank you for your presentation. So if you could choose one problem you would like to have solved, I can see when you go through the plan, you've been through a lot of development and testing, and you're ready to go to market. So if there's one challenge you need to have solved, which one is that?
Sorry, I pitched the point. So can you repeat?
If you obviously you have a lot of challenges ahead in terms of launching your product, getting to market, and those things. If there was one thing you could have solved right now, what could that be? What is the biggest problem you have right now?
To be honest, so the biggest problem is the source subjectivity problem, and and our advantage and uniqueness is exactly this one, that we solve the source subjectivity, because right now it's really difficult to say which source is the fake and which one is the real one.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
Georgi from Georgia. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
And we're now going to move to our second theme. This is Beyond Ukraine, securing democracy in Georgia, Moldova, and Armenia. The first person to present in this cohort is Teyona Tomashvili, askgov.ge from Georgia. Correct.
Imagine a world without high-end corruption, governmental abuses, and fiscal transparency. That's the world that I'm imagining and aiming to live in. In order to achieve that aim, we need to ask active citizens to nudge government to release more public information for greater transparency and accountability. Well, in Georgia, asking for access of public information is a constitutional right. The problem is, when you ask, there's a high chance that you will not get it. In fact, in 2022, the success rate of accessing public information reached all-time low. As a solution, my team and I created a citizen-centric freedom of information request platform called AskGovG that helps users request information and add received data to the public database. So AskGovG helps users in two directions. First, it saves their time to request information. So by semi-automatizing the letter template, anyone can send any type of request to any kind of public authorities with less than 5 minutes. And second, it reduces the barriers of accessibility of information because each dataset received from the public authorities are automatically published online, meaning that there's this ever-growing public database. So far, we have 700 datasets, and it's already one of the largest online public databases in Georgia. Since launching the tool, we have 4,000 users, more than 2,400 requests, and that's just the beginning. This easy accessibility to get the information from the governmental authorities creates this more need to request and know what government is up to. And let me share an example to prove my point. So recently, a 19-year-old student requested an information from Ministry of Internal Affairs regarding the AI tools that they were using for forensic research. Well, they shared the data, and it turned out that those AI tools were Russian-made by Russian companies who were quite cozy with the Russian government. So she wrote a story about it and shared online. That story got picked up by local media, TV broadcasters, the leaders of the opposition party. The story got so viral, even the Ministry of Internal Affairs had to make an official statement about it. So what I'm trying to say with this example is, even in a deeply polarized state, a 19-year-old with an access of AskGovG can define today's political agenda. So the team behind of AskGov is called Forset, a creative enterprise with more than 10 years of experience in data visualization and creating and developing civic technology tools. So far, we fundraised around 100,000 euros, and we're looking for more partners. So if you're keen on transparency in government, let's meet up, let's partner up, and let's open up government one request at a time. Thank you.
Question time, and Jan is first up.
Thank you so much. Amazing product you have built. So what's next?
Great question. Well, I mean, the tool as per se was launched, and we are always trying to have this user experience research and therefore update according to the user's needs. But what I've learned from working in the civic technology sector is that technology helps you to achieve a goal. Technology helps you to tackle some of the challenges. The most important thing is to build the community around it. So what we're doing right now is we are organizing a lot of activities. We're reaching out to journalists, we're reaching out to activists, researchers. We're also working with the students in order to make sure that they know that they have the right to know. So that's our next plan.
Helen.
Thank you so much, Iona. That was wonderful. As a former public servant, I have nightmares about FOI requests, so this is really, really apt. I would love to know, how do you hold the government accountable? So is there a mechanism within this app where you say, oh, okay, the Georgian government didn't respond to 500 FOIs, for example? How do you hold them accountable? Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. And the challenge is so horrible. It's really hard to find one exact solution where it is solved. But what we're trying to do is, whenever you send a request, it's automatically published online, and whenever they receive share an answer, it's automatically published online. So everything that they are writing, for instance, if they say we cannot share this because of, and then they share some illegal reasons, that is published online, and they know that it's published online. So at first, it's they are a bit more scared that everything is piled up and it's online and it's ready for researchers and activists to see, to monitor, and then to write articles, to make a campaign, to make a fuss about it. So that's how technology helps us.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Iona, thank you so much. Raluca Gunda, the People's Parliament, Moldova, the floor is yours.
Half of my relatives are spread all over the globe. I was a lucky one, with both of my parents by my side while growing up. That is not what many Moldovan children get to have. Powerlessness makes people leave Moldova. Democracy, power of people. Powerlessness has no place in a democracy. I am Raluca Gândea, and together with my team, we won a hackathon and developed People's Parliament, an e-tool designed to direct power into people's hands. My country, the Republic of Moldova, wants to be a democratic state and remain part of a free world, despite the war knocking on the door. The purpose of our team is to empower people and engage them in the decision-making process. Imagine a world where citizens' voice would not be heard just once every 4 years, but also between the elections. Imagine a world in which every citizen would feel like they are having the power to decide their own fate, and they are taking responsibility at each level of the society. Our team will create it. We will be the bridge between the people and the deputies. We will integrate direct democracy and use technology and AI tools as a key infrastructure for our advancement. We will offer a comparative analysis. What do the Moldovan citizens vote on the bills, and what are their representatives voting in the parliament? We will develop and explain project laws in such a way that it would be easy and accessible for every citizen to understand them and vote yes, no, or abstain. We will ensure transparency by allowing people to track down the MPs' votes. We will also encourage collective writing of bills. Later on, we will develop AI Parliament, a feature that could predict and analyze votes. Our business model engages customers through crowd donation, crowd lending, and paid subscription. We will also sell statistics and political polls as a polling company. Who are we? Who is the team behind? We are a young and enthusiastic team who met during a hackathon in November 2022 and developed this vision. In order to continue to fight for democracy in the Republic of Moldova, we need you. We are looking for corporate partnerships and investors to support web development, cybersecurity, and marketing.
Stina, what more do you want to know?
I want to know, and thank you for the presentation. Look, it was very nice and very interesting problem you're trying to solve, and very ambitious as well. So I'm thinking, when you have had 1,000 users to use your platform, what does success look like? What kind of impact have you had on these users? Can you maybe tell me what?
We haven't had yet thousands of users. Yes.
Imaginary success.
Basically, what we want to do is to give power back to people and to reinforce and empower democracy. The impact that we will have is make each citizen feel like they are in charge of their own fate, like they are not powerless to the decisions and opinions that the deputies have. And we will also have several features that we'll develop each month, so it's not just a project that has a certain feature and works like that. We will add more and more, and the more users we have, the more active users we have, the more engagement we'll have, the more they will feel powerful. We also have proposal of bills, so they will also be able to collectively write bills and be in a way their own deputies.
Very good, thank you.
Jan?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think it's a very good ambition you have. And so what are the biggest challenges ahead of you, like the next 1-2 months?
1-2 months, in terms of 1-2 months.
From now on, yeah.
Yes. Probably cybersecurity is our biggest challenge, because our intention is to use technology for good and to use it so it will reinforce democracy and will allow the human error factor not to come in, for example, so much. But of course, we do not have yet completely, fully a cybersecurity that would be able to do that. So what we need is IT expertise and funds in order to assure that the voters will be able to vote safe and their vote will be kept safe.
Raluca, thank you so much. And finally, we have Nare Hakobian, Social Lab Data for Democracy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nare, and I'm the Social Development Lead of Data for Democracy. I'm here to present to you the possibility of empowerment through open data. This is a photo of me in Armenia in 2020 after I repatriated. A week after my repatriation, a war was reignited between Armenia and Azerbaijan. I'm not here to talk about this war, but to highlight what I experienced as an aftermath. These horrible events had brought with it an end to a seemingly trusting and stable time in Armenian politics and society. In times of crisis, populations become polarized. This leads to mistrust in general and a lack of participation in democracy. Consequently, people's needs are misrepresented or manipulated in the media and in society, meaning less people are heard and less impactful change can occur. To solve this, we've created Data for Democracy, to empower people and create a more democratic media landscape. Data for Democracy is an open data platform to help media practitioners, organizations, and individuals highlight and understand public opinions, needs, and concerns through AI-driven social listening. Social listening is the practice of listening to online public conversations from different social network channels on specific topics, in our case, democracy. Our Data for Democracy offers its users a toolbox of advanced modules. These advanced modules will be provided on a subscription-based model to sustain ourselves in the future. The solution has been used by media outlets, universities, and NGOs, and our core client base will continue to be media organizations and research institutions who may use the solution to improve their reporting and investigations. While social listening is not a new phenomenon on the market, we have found that most companies using social listening are focused on marketing intelligence, while Data for Democracy's purpose is social good. The solution has been tested and validated by over 400 professional practitioners and several organizations, like DW Academy. It has been piloted in Lebanon, Georgia, and Kazakhstan across different topics, and now to be adapted to Armenia and eventually across the region. During our development, we also wanted to ensure the platform not be misused, so we have implemented protocols for our team and our users. Our team is led by Alexei, our AI expert, Kasim, our DevOps lead, and myself as the Armenian collaboration lead. With our unique combination, we are able to see how such technology and innovation can empower us and technology rather than hinder us. We plan to onboard local organizations in Armenia to help adapt the solution, and we're looking for partners to join us on our mission. Finally, let us empower our citizens and democracy through open data. Thank you.
All right, Helen has a question for you.
Nari, thank you so much for that presentation. Do you still have that dog? Very cute.
I do, yes.
Okay, good. That's an important question. I have a two-part question. Firstly, do you consider video, uploads of video in part of your social media content? So it's all...
Yeah, so it's all kind of social listening, including video as well.
Including TikTok, Nate. You're somewhere out there. What about the contextualization of data? So do you contextualize the data that you have in the context of in the market that you're operating in?
So like I mentioned, the context would be democracy for us, and specifically in Armenia when we begin this transition. And when we're looking at this kind of data, it's important to know that while social listening is kind of it seems like a scary topic because there's the listening element to it, it actually isn't. So we're looking more at analyzing what the data can tell us, like insights, rather than we're not looking at any personally identifiable information or that kind of things, more about what it can give us.
Great, thank you.
Stina.
So staying on that track, so you said you have quite a few users that already used it and that you're trusted by all these parties there. Tell me, what was the feedback? What did they say? What did they like about your technology?
Thank you for the question. So actually, one of our users was from Georgia, and he expressed that using this solution, he was able to understand what's going on right now in Georgia in relation to the migration and influx of Russian migrants. And he was able to understand how the community of of the Russians are feeling about the migration versus how the Georgians are feeling. So it helps to highlight certain information that you can't understand until maybe further on, but you can get it in real time.
Yeah, very good.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So now we get to the audience participation part of this. It is your turn to vote for your favorite democracy tech entrepreneur. You just did it for TikTok. Do it again. Go to your conference app. Click on More. Click on Live Poll. Select your option and then submit. Voting is going to stay open for the next 5 minutes or so. Before we transition to our next keynote speaker, please join me and give a big round of applause to our Democracy Tech expert judge panelists. Thank you so much. Stina Mogodsson, Jorn Larsen, and Helen Zhang. You can leave the stage, step out, and make your decision on the winners of the Ukraine and the Copenhagen Democracy Tech Awards. Welcome.